Having left our campsite in Verdun, which is on the edge of Nancy, our first stop today is the site of, or the centre of the Battle of La Grande Couronne, which is a bit of a double back and made more so the fact I went up, followed Google up a farm track, which was complete rubbish. But anyway, here we are. And this really was a pivotal point in the war because the French managed to hold the Germans back and stop them taking Nancy, although at one point they were going to evacuate Nancy. And this is the point the line stabilised, and this was basically in the 6th, 7th, 8th September 1914, which is 111 years ago today. And this is the monument, the memory of the heroes of the 212th who died for their country. And now it's just basically farmland over here. There's a van, a farm shop, and some cyclists. Difficult to think of this as one of the main points of the war. We're now travelling up between Nancy and Verdun. Verdun is the French what Ypres, the Somme, Arras, all these names are to the British. Between Nancy and Verdun was the Mihiel Salient, which was effectively a bulge of the line eastwards held by the Germans, and this is the sort of centre part of it. And despite numerous attempts throughout the war, the French failed to make any headway. The American forces came into the war in 1917, and in September 1918, the first proper battle fought by American forces under the command of Americans, led by General Pershing, took back the salient. There were over 500,000 American forces. They had 440 tanks, massive artillery bombardments, and as well as the largest assembled collection of aircraft at that time, mostly British and French. And over the course of 4 or 5 days, they managed to retake the salient and push the Germans back. So ultimately, what was the line of the armistice, which was more or less a straight line between Verdun and Nancy. And you can see the monument behind, which is absolutely massive, as you expect being American. And we're going to walk up and have a look at it, and you'll be able to see then the fantastic vantage point this had. As we're walking up to the monument, which we see Trish standing there, you can see how absolutely huge it is. Around the top, you can see the names of all the various battles that the Americans were involved in during the course of their campaign. And here around the inner rim of the monument, it says Mihiel Salient, September the 12th to 16th, 1918, 1st Army, 1st Corps, 4th Corps, 5th Corps, 11th Corps d'Armée Coloniale, and then the whole line of divisions. And it says on the inside that devotion, valour, and their sacrifices will live forever in the hearts of grateful countrymen. And in the central part of the top of the monument is this wonderful relief map of the whole battle. And you can see here, this is where the butt is, just there. And then that says that was the position on the 12th of September in the morning. And then come around the other side. course, you have place names. Got Saint Mihiel there. It's all on 12th of September. L'Épage. More. That's our chateau, but it gives you an indication of how vital this hill was. And we scan round as we go past each pillar. You can see 360-degree line the whole way over. It's the Moselle Valley. And just as a reminder that the First World War was really morphed into the Second World War, and it's on the morning of the 2nd of September 1944, which is pretty well 26 years later, while pursuing the German forces in their withdrawal from the Normandy beachheads towards the Moselle, United States troops fired on an enemy machine gun position established on the hill. Several shells struck in the memorial and caused considerable damage. Repairs were made in 1948. And as we sit having our lunch, and it's 28 degrees, it's the 7th of September, so, and it's hot. I don't know what the weather was a week later in 1918, but if you look down there, it's what looks like a very peaceful scene now, but after 4 years of continuous bombardment and fighting, that would have just been absolutely nothing. No protection. But here we are up on the Mont Sec butte, and you can see why it took such a huge effort to overcome this place.